The plot thickens on this fighter, Imane Khelif, who has fought at the Olympics. Imane Khelif, I think actually a fair bit of my segment on this fighter was censored from my show yesterday because of the big tech rules around discussing this. So I'll be very careful in my language, but this is a very important story. Imane Khelif is a fighter who's fighting against women in women's boxing. And the way this has been portrayed in the press is that Imane Khelif is a man who identifies as a woman who's fighting these women. And that's what a lot of the discussion has surrounded. Now, there is some question, actually, as to whether Imane Khelif really is a man. There have been conflicting reports over Imane Khelif's chromosomes, over Imane Khelif's testosterone levels. Is Imane Khelif really a woman born with some sexual abnormalities, or a man born with some sexual abnormalities, or intersex, hermaphroditic, or what? And we don't really know. There's a lot of conflicting information. We do know that Imane Khelif was prohibited from fighting women according to one of the major boxing associations. But then the Olympics cleared Imane Khelif to fight this Italian, and then they get in the ring for 46 seconds, one punch, and the Italian girl says, "I'm out. This person's going to kill me." I've never been punched that hard in my life, and so that's why there's an uproar. So what I said yesterday on the show is very controversial. I said, look, the leftists are all claiming that it's perfectly fine for a man, in principle, to box a woman. The liberals, modern liberals, classical liberals, progressive liberals, libertarians, the liberal types are saying it is wrong for a man to box a woman. Only women should box women. I said, but there's actually a third perspective here, and that's the conservative perspective, and that's my perspective, which is that women shouldn't box. It's wrong. I can't watch it. I think furthermore, I think it is wrong politically for society to establish and encourage and fund and promote spectacles in which women are getting their skulls cracked in. I think that's wrong. I think that's disordered and disturbing. And there were many, many people who came out and said, Michael, you're far too extreme. You're a far-right authoritarian. Many people who would call themselves conservatives said that. I pointed out, I said, hold on, you want to conserve the great tradition of women's boxing. When do you think women's boxing began in the Olympics? 2012. Women were banned from boxing in the Olympics until a dozen years ago, okay? When do you think women's boxing became a thing worldwide? Outside of a handful of rare occasions that were quickly snuffed out, women's boxing only began to hit anything even resembling the mainstream at the turn of the second millennium, 1998 in the UK, 99, 2000. So hold on, you're telling me that my extreme far-right, authoritarian, fascist, conservative position is something that everyone agreed with 25 years ago? That everybody, regardless of your political views? You're telling me that look, I'm a conservative, but I strongly support women knocking their skulls in on TV. Your view, which is supposedly conservative today, that would have been a radically leftist view 25 years ago, frankly, even a dozen years ago. So all of that as context to say, what now? Imane Khelif, some are saying, is not really biologically a man, that actually there's some sexual ambiguity, is raising the prospect that this person might be intersex or might be a woman, and we just don't know. So what then? If this person is intersex, it's a rare but real medical condition. Someone with sexual abnormalities. Should that person be allowed to fight? Or do we need yet another boxing league? We need the intersex boxing league. Do we just test testosterone and then we meld the women's and the men's boxing leagues, or what? Or what? Do you think? Let's take it even further. Let's say this person is a woman biologically, and is just like the strongest woman ever. Let's say that the claims made by the Imane Khelif supporters are true, and this person is biologically, at least plausibly, a woman, and she's just, for whatever reason, super strong. And that's why, after 46 seconds, this Italian lady had to jump out of the ring because she was about to have her skull cracked in. Do you support that? You think that's good? Well, it's two women. They agreed to fight. So, let's go. Crack her skull and let's watch that woman bleed from the head. No, I don't. That's not my view, at least. I think it's still wrong. Not because a man or a woman is doing the punching, but because it is a woman who is being punched in a public spectacle. I think that's just wrong. And if your best defense of that is, well, look, they agreed to do it. Look, they wanted to do it. They agreed to do it. If your politics always comes down to a matter of voluntary actions, you're a lib. And look, there are many such cases. There are a lot of libs these days. We've lived in liberal modernity for a long time. But that is a very liberal point of view. Because I think, call me crazy, call me an old fuddy-duddy. I know this is my crazy extreme view that virtually everyone agreed with until not so long ago. I think politics is about more than just acts of the will. I think it's about more than just consent. Consent is an important thing, but I think there's more to it. I think people can consent to things that are really bad and should be proscribed. Think like doing heroin, I think you could consent to that, but I think that's bad. I don't think we should legalize heroin or, I don't know, snuff films, filming like dead people and people dying. I think that's probably bad, being killed. I don't know. That's kind of, I think, cockfights, even generally, I guess you could, animals can't consent to anything. The chicken owners could, I guess, consent to it. But I don't think we should. Dog fighting and stuff. I don't know. I just think there's a lot. That's my conservative view. And furthermore, I think it is especially disordered to watch some poor woman get her head cracked in for whatever reason by anyone. Call me old-fashioned. I'm just one of those really old-fashioned guys who thinks like everyone did in 2012. That was a good clip, guys. You got to ring that bell and subscribe, huh? See you next time.